gorgeous, handsome, beardless. Okay.
Well, you're kind of growing it back.
Yeah.
So you're not beardless anymore. But I've been intending to film my first YouTube video for a while now, and I figured that you all probably don't know me and don't know Daniel. So a good first video could be a Q&A, and or kind of knowing more about us. So I posted on my Instagram for you guys to send me questions, things that you wanted to know about us, and I think the question that came up the most was how we met and kind of like how everything happened. So I can start.
Yeah, definitely. I'm driving, so.
He's driving, but we're not, he's eyes on the road. But this is really the only time we have to film, so we kind of have to take advantage of it. So we met actually in Puerto Rico in college. We were both going to the same university, and we took a class together. He was in his last year of his bachelor's, and I was in my first year. We're 3 years apart.
Yeah.
So we met there officially, kind of like introduced ourselves, like, hi, I'm Bianca, hi, I'm Daniel, but I knew already about him. So in the church that I used to go to, he was part of this like kind of Christian band, and that band would go sometimes to my church, so I knew he was the guitar player, but I never really spoke to him. I was very shy, first of all, and we weren't really either of us looking
She had the hots for me. You know what I'm saying?
We weren't really looking for anything. We never dated. We just knew each other and then had each other on social media.
Yeah.
But nothing ever happened.
We were distant. We were like, I think we were just social media friends. That was it.
Yeah.
Because we didn't, if we talked like 2 times or probably 3 times during class.
That was a lot. Yeah. And actually, if we talked in class, it was because I took the courage to approach him, and I was like, hi, I'm Bianca. I've seen you before. And he's like, oh yeah. But then again, nothing ever happened. But
oh yeah, you have seen me before, but I don't think I've seen you before.
It was something like that. But obviously I thought he was very cute and handsome.
Oh, stop it.
But nothing ever happened, and we were both kind of like, our minds were in different,
we were in different
paths,
yeah.
basically. Yeah, our lives were going through different.
We had different priorities at the moment too.
Yeah. So he fast forward to like 5 years. Right after he finished his bachelor's, he moved to Chicago, and I stayed in Puerto Rico. And again, I knew kind of like what he was up to because of social media, but never really spoke to him. And then came the year when I moved from Puerto Rico to New York, and I had been in New York for a couple months now.
But before that, weren't you like in Texas?
Yeah, I was in Texas for like 2 months, something like that. I was in Texas for like 2 months, then moved to New York officially because I found a job, and I had been living there already for like 5 months, and he had been living in Chicago for like 5 years.
When you moved to New York?
When I moved to New York.
4 years.
Right, 4 years.
Wait, when did you move to New York?
I moved 2017.
And I moved to Chicago in 2014, so
3 years.
Yeah,
3 years and counting. So when he saw, I guess this is where you can kind of jump in. What came through your mind when you saw that I was in New York?
You forgot to tell the coffee stories.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a very important part of our story. I remember that when I was living in Puerto Rico and he was in Chicago, those 3 years, we would literally talk because I would write on his wall on Facebook and say happy birthday, and that's it. Or through Messenger, he would say like, hey, how are you? How's everything going? Like nothing.
And it was never, being honest.
It was never flirting.
Yeah, it was never flirting.
It was never flirting. It was just like, hey, what's up? Like, we obviously saw.
It was more like a catching up kind of like.
Yeah, and I started to find things that we had in common, so we talked about he was gonna come to Puerto Rico, he would be like, hey, like we should meet up when I'm over there and have some coffee. And I'm like, sure. But he would come to Puerto Rico, leave, and never ever text me to go get coffee. So that happened like once or twice. And it came to the point when I was like, okay, well, he's not interested. I'm not really gonna think anything of it. It's fine. He never said anything. So when I was in New York, we started progressively talking through social media a little bit more consistently. And one of the things that came up was, you know, he was like, hey, like, we should have coffee. And I was like, I know this story and I know how it goes. So I was like, well, you're in Chicago and I'm in New York, so if you want to have coffee with me, you're gonna have to come to New York. That was basically what I said.
True. And long story short,
Yeah.
I took the opportunity of visiting some friends in New York, and I also took that opportunity to take Bianca out for coffee, breakfast. She took me out to
Broadway.
Lion King show play, which was amazing. Yeah, so basically that trip for me, for that coffee and seeing friends and whatever and spending time with Bianca in New York, it was what led us to know and to actually like to see that we had like we had something going on, and that it had potential. So it solidified what, you know, our conversations and the things that we had in common. So it brought us to the conclusion that I wanted to pursue her, and that she was going to allow me to pursue her. That's like a really short, probably bad way of telling a story.
Yeah. So I guess it was more like when he knew that he was gonna come to New York to visit his friends and spend time with me. That's kind of like when we knew, like, okay, if you're gonna come to New York, then we need to get to know each other before and when you come. So I remember that when that happened, when he had already his tickets and it was 100% sure, I was like, I'm not gonna believe that he's gonna come and have coffee with me until he has his tickets. But he did get them, and after that we started talking every day, and talking on the phone, FaceTiming, and just getting to know each other. And then when he came to New York, when he was there, then, like Daniel said, everything was solidified because we had already had all these conversations.
And I don't think I've ever used that word in a conversation before.
Solidified. So that's kind of like the really short summary. We after that we dated for, I want to say,
year and 2 months.
a year and a month. But we dated 6 months before we got engaged.
True.
And then we dated for 7 months before our wedding. So we dated for a year and a month before we got married.
Yep.
And now we're almost 2 months into marriage, which is awesome. But yeah, that's kind of like short version of the story.
It's gonna be 2 months in 2 days. And it's been amazing. I don't know what she's saying. Like, it's been
great.
It's been great.
It's been great.
I mean, she's married to me. Think about that. I'm kidding. It's amazing. I'm married to her, and she is amazing. I love Bianca.
I love you too, babe. But yeah, we've had some really good 2 months, and now a lot of good things happening. We're actually in the process of moving into our first home, our first house, and hopefully our only house. And we are looking forward to it.
We're not going to give you the address because we don't want you guys to come over.
Yeah, we're preparing for that right now. And so I guess that's kind of short version, and we want to keep doing videos probably I was thinking a good idea for our next video could be like vlogging our move and just
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
going through the process, because moving can be stressful, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that, especially moving in a state that is not, it's home now, but just adjusting, living in a new place. So thank you so much for listening. I hope this answered your question. This kind of became a video.
And listen, my Instagram is public, okay? So I need to gather some followers because I have some intensive and interesting things to say and to show and to gain followers. So my Instagram, Daniel Ramos, together. How do you call it? Underscore, yeah. I was gonna say dash. Underscore Asia. ASIA. Daniel Ramos underscore Asia. Follow me, please.
Yeah.
Don't follow her. Her Instagram is
Private.
I was gonna say block.
No, I keep my Instagram private, but I let almost anybody follow me. I just don't like the random accounts that don't have any posts follow me. That's what I don't like. But anybody that follows me that I see that is a legit account, I let them follow me. So follow me. My username is Velvet Fitness.
Not for the followers, but follow Bianca at least. You don't have to follow me. I'm not. I'm actually not a jerk. Like I'm right now being a jerk. But I don't know. Do I have to say I'm not a jerk if I'm not a jerk?
No.
No, somebody else has to say it for me, right?
Okay, you're not a jerk.
Okay, thank you, babe. So what I'm saying is, follow her. You're gonna ask questions until I think this is gonna be the first video for the channel. Don't worry, they're gonna get better. They're gonna get better.
Yeah.
This is the first video.
It's kind of, you have to break the ice first. And
This is mainly her channel. I'm just gonna be feature in some of the videos. But if you have any questions, please ask her. If you have any questions about I don't know, anything about us or me or her or things that we're doing, let us know. And
yeah.
we will be, not that it's interesting what we have to say, but we will be happily to share our life with you guys.
Yeah.
The things that we want to share. Not everything.
Well, thank you so much. We will see you soon.